Welcome to this on-demand webinar for AP Art and Design. This webinar is designed to give an overview to both AP coordinators and AP Art and Design teachers. My name is Tracy Devers, Director, AP Coordinator Experience. I support AP coordinators in their roles in schools. I'm also a former AP coordinator. With me today is my colleague, Rebecca.
Thanks, Tracy. I'm Rebecca Stone Danahy, the Director of AP Art and Design with College Board, and I oversee curriculum, instruction, and assessment. And I'm so glad to be with you today. In this on-demand webinar, we'll review the art and design courses, the role of the AP coordinator, the role of the AP teacher, the AP course audit, and the AP digital portfolio submission. To kick off this on-demand webinar, I'll start with reviewing the three AP Art and Design portfolio courses. AP Art and Design portfolio courses are inquiry-based. That means that students are the decision makers about their ideas and the kinds of artwork they will make to express their ideas. Each portfolio course is based on specific skills, 2D, 3D, or drawing, but all are assessed using the same rubric for all three portfolio components: sustained investigation, selected works, and written evidence. In all courses, students demonstrate art making through practice, experimentation, and revision of materials, processes, and ideas. However, the skills used to make art differ between 2D, 3D, and drawing. Your AP Art and Design teacher will work closely with their students to determine the right portfolio based on student experiences, interests, and demonstrated skill. In 2D art and design, students might make works of art by studying graphic design, sequential art, photography, collage, printmaking, illustration, industrial design, animation, game design, painting, fibers, or others. In 3D art and design, students might study sculpture, architecture, jewelry, fashion, and apparel design, bookmaking, game design, interior, fibers, and more. And finally, in drawing, students might demonstrate their drawing skills through painting, drawing, sequential art, printmaking, illustration, animation, fibers, and many other areas of study. Regardless of the portfolio each student chooses in AP Art and Design, each course should offer the challenge to create a portfolio of college-level work while still in high school. Students who submit a portfolio and receive a score of 3 or higher have the opportunity to earn college credit, advanced placement into a 2D, 3D, or drawing course, or both. Tracy, I'll turn it over to you.
All right, thanks, Rebecca. Let's take a look at the role the AP coordinator plays in AP Art and Design. Primarily, the role of the AP coordinator is to provide support for both AP teachers as well as AP students. Now, one of the first things the AP coordinator will do is take a look at the deadlines that are established by College Board. Meeting these deadlines related to ordering and submission of work is a primary responsibility and one that we want to be sure no one misses. A best practice for AP coordinators is to consider setting internal deadlines. Internal deadlines allow both the AP teacher and the AP coordinator to follow up with any students who perhaps have not indicated their exam decision or have yet to submit works in the AP digital portfolio. Let's take a look at a few examples. College Board has a final ordering deadline of November 15th, 2024. A best practice would be for coordinators to set an internal deadline for October 31st. This allows the coordinator to check if students have enrolled in their AP class sections and if they've also indicated their intent to take an AP exam. This internal deadline provides a couple extra weeks for the coordinator to follow up with both the AP students as well as the AP teachers. Now, in the spring, we also have another deadline set by College Board, which is for the spring course orders and fall order changes. This deadline is March 14th. Another best practice, set an internal deadline of February 28th. Once again, giving the coordinator time to follow up with students to ensure that their exam order is accurate, to avoid any surprises during the exam administration. The final and one of the most important deadlines is the submission for AP Art students to submit their portfolio components to the digital portfolio. This date set by College Board is May 9th. Great idea for the AP coordinator to set an internal deadline of perhaps May 2nd. Once again, allowing the coordinator and the AP teacher to ensure that their AP Art and Design students have submitted all of the required components to the digital portfolio. By setting that date for May 2nd, it gives everyone a little bit more time to follow up and add any components that may be missing. Now, one of the first things an AP coordinator will do at the beginning of the school year is to create class sections for all of the AP courses. Class sections are created in AP registration and ordering, and the purpose of a class section is to associate students with both the classes and the exams they are taking. Now, AP coordinators and AP teachers can create class sections. So communication on who is going to create these sections is important. Another important consideration is the naming conventions used when creating class sections. Consistent names and names that easily identify sections are important because score reports that come out in July will be named based on the class section. Now, when class sections are created, in the background, join codes are also created. Now, join codes are used by the students to join their AP class section. These are unique alphanumeric codes. And again, I just want to repeat, unique to each class section. And both the AP coordinator and teachers can view join codes for classes that they're assigned to. Now, another important communication point, AP coordinators or the AP teachers can distribute join codes to the students. Now, once a student gets a join code, let's talk about how they enroll in their class section. Once students have the join code for their appropriate class section, the students will log into My AP with their College Board student account. If a student does not yet have a College Board account, it's important that they create one right away. The student will then enroll in their class section using the corresponding join code. Now, in some cases, students may also indicate their decision on whether they would like their portfolio scored. This is what we refer to as indicating their exam decision. Now, the AP coordinator will oversee student enrollment in AP registration and ordering throughout the year. This essentially means they will keep track of students who may have withdrawn from a course or transferred in or out of the school. Managing this enrollment will ensure an accurate exam order is in place. Now, there's one more type of section that an AP coordinator may need to create in a school, and those are called exam-only sections. Now, exam-only sections are created for a variety of students. This might include independent or self-study students. This might be for students who want to take the AP course or exam, but the school does not teach it or offer it. Or perhaps the student was not able to enroll in the AP course due to a schedule conflict. Another group of students who get enrolled in exam-only sections are those students who attend another school. and perhaps that school does not teach the course or does not administer the exams. If those students are coming to our school to take the exam, we place them in an exam-only section. Now, another group of students are our homeschooled students. Students who are studying at home do need a brick and mortar school in which to take their exam. Homeschooled students would also enroll in our exam-only sections. And our final group is our virtual school students. Many students will take coursework through a virtual provider. They too need to test at a brick and mortar school. And if they're coming to our school, we would place them in the exam-only section. Now, keep in mind, only the AP coordinator can create the exam-only sections, and the AP coordinator will provide the join code to these students so that they can enroll in those exam-only sections and ensure that an exam is ordered for them. That's a little bit about the role of the AP coordinator. Rebecca, could you walk us through what the AP teacher is responsible for?
Absolutely. The role of the AP Art and Design teacher is pivotal. So let's take a deeper dive into those expectations. AP Art and Design teachers guide their students through inquiry-based curricula that addresses the following learning outcomes. Articulate in writing information about one's work, conduct a sustained investigation based on inquiry of the student's choosing, use inquiry to guide a sustained investigation demonstrating practice, experimentation, and revision of materials, processes, and ideas, skillfully synthesize materials, processes, and ideas, and demonstrate 2D, 3D, or drawing portfolio skills. The AP Art and Design course and exam description is a conceptual framework guiding AP Art and Design students and teachers through the required course skills, big ideas, essential questions, learning outcomes, and essential knowledge statements. Teachers should download a new copy of the course and exam description each fall to ensure they have the most up-to-date information. And if you look on the cover of the CED, it will always say the date of when it was last updated. For more information, visit apcentral.collegeboard.org and go to the course landing page for AP Art and Design. You can look for it under the AP Courses and Exams tab at the top of the web page. Beyond designing curricula to best support their students, AP Art and Design teachers have a variety of tasks to ensure successful student submission. The first task is to complete the course audit process, as Tracy described earlier. Based on the curriculum design, teachers will adopt or create a syllabus and submit it for approval through myap.collegeboard.org. It is recommended that AP Art and Design teachers submit syllabi for all three portfolio courses so that students have the opportunity to submit the best portfolio suited to their art making. Once a syllabus is submitted and approved, teachers or coordinators will create a class section and then distribute the join code to their students. It is important to do this in early fall so that if students have trouble creating their MyAP account, there is time for them to call AP Services for Students and receive assistance well before the November 15th exam ordering deadline. Once a student's account is created and they have accepted the class join code, students have access to AP Digital Portfolio and AP Classroom. At the beginning of the school year, AP Art and Design teachers will review the portfolio requirements with their students and the student submission guide found on apcentral.org. Throughout the school year, teachers will guide students to capture digital images of their art making processes and works and ensure they adhere to the image requirements, which is a maximum size of 4 megabytes. Teachers should also prepare students to submit a portfolio in AP Digital Portfolio by requiring its use regularly and often. Additionally, they should work with students to practice writing and working within AP Digital Portfolio to complete the written evidence portfolio component. Finally, teachers should check student work for plagiarism by completing reverse image searching, and Google image search is a great tool for this, and check the work for artificial intelligence if suspected. And just as a footnote, the company Hive, Hive, offers a Google Chrome extension that is free and easy to use as an AI detector. In April through May, students will submit their work in AP Digital Portfolio, and teachers will review the student submissions and ensure that they have completed all three portfolio components, and that's the sustained investigation, selected works, and the written evidence. As I mentioned, students who accept the class codes have access to AP Classroom, which offers supporting videos for AP Art and Design students. In AP Classroom, teachers can assign on-demand videos that reinforce concepts taught in class. Additionally, students and teachers have access to the reading training videos under the Review tab in AP Classroom. Updated annually, the reader training videos are used to train readers or raters on the course rubrics and scoring guidelines, and they are a terrific way to understand course expectations through course rubrics. So let's review some of the key academic calendar dates for AP Art and Design teachers. On March 1st of the academic year, teachers can begin submitting course audit materials for AP Art and Design courses that they plan to offer during the next school year. In July of the same year, AP Classroom systems open. This means that teachers with approved course audit forms have access to AP Classroom and AP Digital Portfolio. In addition, teachers with previously authorized courses that have been renewed for the upcoming school year can begin assigning resources to students. In the following school year, it is recommended that AP coordinators will submit their exam orders by October 1st. And this is what Tracy spoke to earlier. This means that students need to have their My AP accounts created and indicate which portfolio exam they intend to complete. Teachers should work with students to help them determine the best AP Art and Design portfolio based on the curriculum and student skill. In the same school year, the final deadline for course syllabi submission and approval is January 31st. Meeting this deadline ensures that students can submit an AP Art and Design portfolio in that academic year. If a teacher does not meet this deadline, their students will not be able to submit portfolios for scoring and potential college credit. So Tracy, I'll turn it back over to you.
Thank you, Rebecca. So let's dive a little bit deeper into the AP course audit. The AP course audit is really an essential component for offering AP courses as well as ensuring access for both AP teachers and students. Now, the AP course audit is critical because all of our AP courses must be authorized by the AP program, and that allows us to use AP in the course name as well as on transcripts. Now, the course audit essentially confirms the teacher's awareness of the course scope and exam content. Now, in order to get the course audit process running at a school, each school will name an AP course audit administrator. Now, in some schools, the AP course audit administrator may also be the AP coordinator. So it's a good it's a good piece of information to find out who is the course audit administrator at your school. Now, once courses are approved by the AP program, those schools' AP courses will be included in the AP course ledger. This is the official list of all AP courses, so that when colleges and universities receive student transcripts, they can check the accuracy by utilizing ledger. Now, as Rebecca mentioned earlier, AP Art and Design teachers will often submit syllabi and be approved to teach all three of the portfolio types: 2D, 3D, and drawing. Let's talk a little bit more about the AP Course Audit Administrator and what they're responsible for. So the Course Audit Administrator is responsible for approving the teacher's AP Course Audit form. This is essential because this really opens the door for the AP teacher to have access to the resources in AP Classroom. The Course Audit Administrator will also work with teachers if their course syllabus is not approved when submitted. The Course Audit Administrator will also renew courses in AP Course Audit for all returning teachers. And they'll also check the AP Course Audit for notification emails. The Course Audit Administrator will receive emails when a course audit form is submitted, as well as when it's time to renew those courses so that deadlines don't get missed. Now, how does the AP teacher get started with the course audit process? Well, what the teachers will do is they will submit the course audit form online. Once that form is submitted online, the Course Audit Administrator will receive notification, review, and approve the form. The teacher's next step then is to adopt an AP or a course syllabus from an AP teacher that has already been approved. Let's take a little bit deeper look into this. So our AP teachers are going to begin by signing in to the AP Course Audit. They're going to sign in, or if they don't have an account, they will create one. Once they're in the course audit, they will add their course. So there's a button they will click called Add New Course, and then they will choose the appropriate subject. Once they've chosen their subject, they will complete that online form. That form then gets sent to the AP Course Audit Administrator, who will approve that form. The teacher's next step then is to submit a course syllabi by January 31st. That's the process for submitting the course audit form. Let's talk next about what we do after the form has been submitted. Now, when syllabi are submitted for approval, AP Art and Design college faculty members will review the submitted syllabus. Now, teachers and principals can check the status through the AP course website. This process can take about 8 weeks, so teachers can expect to receive communication within that time frame. Now, if a syllabus is approved, if it meets the requirements, it is then authorized by College Board. Again, for teachers who adopt the AP sample syllabi or perhaps submit a colleague's approved syllabus, they typically receive immediate authorization. Now, if a syllabus does not get approved, the Course Audit Administrator will work with the teacher, and the teacher has 3 attempts to revise their syllabus for approval. Now, in terms of being authorized, remember when a course is authorized, schools then have that approval to use the AP designation in their course names and on school transcripts. The AP course is also added to the AP course ledger for colleges and universities. And perhaps one of the most important pieces, our AP teachers are then granted access to AP Classroom, as well as the online student reports that become available each July. Now, in terms of renewing course authorization, the good news here is that returning teachers, you really don't have to do a thing. Your course audit administrator will renew those authorizations for the courses that are going to be offered for the next academic year. Now let's take a look at the calendar for the course audit administrator. Beginning in March, AP Course Audit administrators will begin selecting authorized online and distance providers Around May 1st, the course audit administrators can begin approving course audit forms for new courses that will be offered at their school. Course audit administrators can also renew previously authorized courses for the coming school year. Now, October 1st is that preferred submission and renewal deadline for AP Art and Design. And for October 15th, this is the preferred date for which course audit administrators should renew those previously authorized courses. It's also a time for course audit administrators to remove any inactive teachers or courses that may not be offered at your school any longer. Now, January 31st is a key date for our administrators because this is the deadline to approve those course audit forms. It's also the deadline to renew previously authorized courses for the upcoming school year. And finally, it's our last opportunity to remove teachers who are not teaching or courses that are no longer being taught. Now, one of the unique things with AP Art and Design is that students have the ability to switch portfolio types. So let's break this down. First of all, students may submit more than one AP Art and Design exam. Now, these must be different types of portfolios. For example, a student can't submit two AP drawing portfolios in the same year. A student may also not duplicate images or works in multiple portfolios in one year or from previous years. Now remember, we order an AP Art and Design exam for each student enrolled in the course, even though there's no end of course exam. By doing this, we are allowing the student's portfolio to be scored. And if students aren't sure which portfolio type at the beginning of the year they're going to submit, have students pick one because we can always switch that. Now, if we order an AP Art and Design exam for a student and they indicate after the November 15th ordering deadline that they want to switch to a different type of AP Art and Design exam, we can switch that in AP registration and ordering. AP coordinators need to make that switch by March 14th. The good news with this, there is no late order or unused or canceled exam fees associated with this switch, and that is unique to AP Art and Design courses. Now, our portfolios, as I mentioned, can be switched until March 14th of 2025. So again, if the student is not sure which portfolio they'll want to submit in May, order one for the student when submitting that initial exam order in November. Now, if a student does decide after March 14th that they want to switch their portfolio, a late fee will be assessed. However, good news here, we can call AP Services, explain the situation, and request a fee waiver. Now, I want to walk through the switching of portfolio types in a little bit more detail here. So in this example, we have a student who's enrolled in AP Drawing, and they decide they would like to instead submit a portfolio for AP 2D Art and Design. The student should enroll in the class section for AP 2D Art and Design while still being enrolled in the class section for AP Drawing. Now, I know this sounds a little confusing, but let's take a closer look. What we'll do is we will first provide the student with a join code for AP 2D Art and Design. The student will join AP 2D Art and Design using that specific join code through My AP. Now, again, I can't stress this enough. It's important the students do this while enrolled in their original class section, the one that they wish to enroll out of. Now, when the student has enrolled in that new class section, we need to change the student's order exam status for the original class from yes to no. Now, when we cancel the student's exam for the original class section, we'll be prompted to confirm if we would like to order a portfolio exam for the new course. And we can see that on the pop-up on the slide here. We will want to indicate that, yes, we want to order the exam for AP Drawing and drop the student's AP 2D Art and Design exam. Now, a couple important points here. After we switch their exam, we want to submit this change to our exam order. So the AP coordinators will go to the orders page and submit their exam order, even if they've previously submit it again for that change to take place. It's also important to note here that a student's artwork will not transfer from one portfolio to another. So this is an important piece to explain to the student and to be aware of. Now, one final piece that may come up for an AP coordinator is requesting an extension. Sometimes students have an unexpected issue that is going to prevent them from completing their submission by the May 9th deadline that College Board has established. Based on the issue, the AP coordinator can request an extension. Now, only the AP coordinators can request these extensions, so communication to the coordinator is important. The AP coordinator will make the request through the AP digital portfolio. This is always our first step. We don't call AP services for educators. We make the request in the AP digital portfolio. Now, if the extension comes after the standard deadline, students will not be able to submit their work until that extension request has been filed. Let's take a closer look at the steps that the coordinator will take here. In order to submit the extension request, the AP coordinator will navigate to the AP digital portfolio. They will choose the appropriate subject homepage and then expand the class section to locate the particular student. Next to the student's name, there will be a box that we can click that says Request Extension. We'll select a reason that we're requesting this extension. And keep in mind, this year's portfolio submission is due on May 9th. So requesting that extension as soon as we're aware of it is important and will help the student out. Rebecca is going to talk to us a little bit more about the specifics of that digital portfolio submission.
Thanks, Tracy. It's important to note that all students will upload their images, works, and written evidence into AP Digital Portfolio. And that's College Board's portfolio platform that we will then score the artworks from. So in AP Digital Portfolio, students will submit their 3 portfolio components, and that is the sustained investigation, selected works, and their written evidence. As I mentioned earlier, it's so important for students to have practice using this portfolio platform to consider how they want their artwork to be presented, to consider what's accompanying their work, whether it's text for their ideas, materials, processes. And new this year, they'll be able to list their digital tools, as well as be able to cite their work as required by the Artistic Integrity Agreement. So this is important. Last year in 2024, over 26,000 students did not log into AP Digital Portfolio until the day the portfolio was due. And the work that goes into this takes much longer than a class period. So it's highly recommended that students begin this early, work with their teachers to curate their portfolios, and look at how they are presenting their images, works, and written evidence. And just to note, no physical artwork is shipped to the AP program. This is an entirely digital submission for AP 2D, 3D, or AP drawing. So just to go over the timeline for students and for your AP art teachers, as we've been saying, teachers will want to create their class codes or work with their AP coordinator as to whoever will do that, and then encourage students to join those AP class sections in early fall. In September, teachers should review the course and exam description and portfolio expectations with students, and they'll want to make sure they've downloaded the most up-to-date CED from apcentral.org. Oftentimes, as a former AP Art and Design teacher myself, I had extra copies of the course and exam description printed, and I put it in a binder so that students had access to it as well. In September through April, students should continue creating artwork and practice uploading their 3 portfolio components, whether that's sustained investigation, selected works, and or their written evidence. By October, it's really important to start beginning to use those scoring rubrics. It should not be a mystery to students or teachers how their work will be scored. The rubrics really do not change from year to year. There might be slight modifications, why it's important, and that's why it's important to download the course and exam description. But those scoring rubrics should help guide student art making practices throughout the school year. October through April should be the time to just continue practicing using AP Digital Portfolio and thinking about how students' work will be presented. And then in April, teachers should work with students to ensure that all 3 portfolio components are ready for submission, with an internal deadline recommended by May 2nd in 2025 for students to submit their portfolio for review by their AP teacher. And this allows the AP Art and Design teacher time to look at the student submission, check the work for plagiarism, and ensure students have submitted all 3 required portfolio components so that their work can be picked up by the AP program for scoring. And May 9th, 2025 is the date that that happens. And that's when the students should have everything submitted by 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So this concludes our on-demand webinar for AP coordinators on the AP Art and Design courses. So thank you for your time, and thank you, Tracy, for all of your informative guidance.
Yes, thank you, Rebecca. I so appreciate your perspective as a former AP teacher on the ins and outs for the AP Art and Design program. This webinar can be viewed multiple times as it will be available in an on-demand format. We'll also have a list of helpful resources for you to access as well. Thank you so much for all of your support of your AP students.